Okay, welcome back to our daily market recap. We do this, most days in the market, whenever the coaches are free and whatnot. We're here on a Wednesday on the 15th of July, just after the markets closed today. Let's go through some of the basics. We've built the Trade Center at Tackle Trading to make your life easier because you can come in here and take a look at most everything that's happened right from this location. Start with a heat map, a tool that I like to use quite often. Mixed market, basic materials and energy down. We'll get to the oil markets in just a minute. Financials, somewhat bullish. Apple was up. You had a few mixed, like Celgene had a good day. You had a few stocks that might have had earnings or news or whatnot, but somewhat of a mixed market. Let's click on the futures chart and go through the four major products that I like to look at. Let's kick it to the daily chart. S&P 500 is now fading into resistance. Had a big rally late last week, and here we are, kind of bumping our head up here at the high point. Good candle here, slower candle there. Monday was good, Friday was good, and then we kind of slowing down in here. S&P represents most major companies in the market, 500 companies, broad section of stocks, so it's a good one to start with when you're looking at stocks. Volatility index, which represents option prices. Options are down now, they're cheaper. And that's because the markets have stabilized and come back up into a range, and so you're not getting as much premium from your options. Let's go to the energy sector and crude oil specifically. Crude oil, I tweeted about this today at Tim Justice Utah. If you're on Twitter, you can come follow me. And I talked about how inventories and supply is at record highs. I mean, literally, we're at levels that we haven't seen in 80 years, what I read from the EIA, and that was direct from the source. There's a lot of oil supply out there on the market. You see pressure under crude prices. Crude prices actually dropped today. We're now pressing support. 50 is a demarcation line. That's my favorite word lately. If we break below 50, look out below. It's kind of my line in the sand. Let's go over to the currency markets. US dollar is rallying recently, showing some strength. Canadian dollar actually had some news here this morning. If you're a currency trader, you were following that. This is a big week for currencies. If you haven't watched the Forex report from TackleTrading.com, my brother Matt, Coach Matt, he does a great job on that on Mondays. Very thorough, detailed analysis of all of the currency markets. As we look at the news and we think about the calendar here and kind of get some reaction, let's click on the news here. Stocks snap a 4-day win streak, but barely in the red. Dow -3, NASDAQ 5, S&P 1, basically at the flat line. Commodities get hit by dollar index strength. Fed Chair Janet Yellen testifies before the House Financial Services Committee and reiterated that the Fed's intention to begin hiking rates in 2015 if economic conditions hold up. No duh, right, Janet? We know that. You've been telling us that for a long time, so definitely not a surprise there. Mixed market today. Let's take a peek quickly at the calendar moving forward over the next few days. A lot going on around the globe, not just in the U.S. with earnings season. You got to check your earnings, people. If you're in a company right now, if you're trading a company, make sure that you're checking earnings reports. I'm going to leave that orange impact on, and I'm going to put all of the currencies on here. We can scan through them pretty quick. All right, today, big event. Go back and look at the numbers, crude oil inventories. And if we look at the charts on crude oil inventories, I talked about it for just a minute, you'll notice the inventories were down here, -4.3. But the big thing was, and this was the key, and I went and read this, and I thought, you know what? Why not get the information right from the horse's mouth, as they say? This is from the EIA, and I want you to read this right here. Over the last 4 weeks, motor gasoline, no, where is it at? U.S. crude oil inventories remain near levels not seen for this time of year in at least the last 80 years. We have a lot of inventory out there. We also have the Iranian situation, global risk. Watch out. Crude oil prices could easily rally. They're very volatile, but a lot of the fundamentals are pointing to bearish pressure right now. Looking forward for tomorrow and Friday. Yeah, I don't need that. Let's see, minimum bid rate from Europe. The European Central Bank is going to come out and have a minimum bid rate. That's where they set their, interest rate policy. The ECB will have a press conference as well. The Fed Chair Yellen is also going to give more testimony on Thursday. That starts then. On Friday, we have CPI on the U.S. dollar, CPI from Canada, and Fed member Fisher is going to give testimony. I mentioned Canada this morning, and you'll notice their monetary policy report came out, and it did affect the currency markets. If you're a currency trader, you got to check the economic calendar so that you're aware of that. Okay, this has been a market recap from TackleTrading.com. You can visit us over at Tackle Trading. We have a lot of great services. Pro membership includes a weekly Forex report as well as a commodity report and an options report, not to mention our, really highly rated coaches show, which we get a lot of team members on, and the 4 coaches, Coach Matt, Coach Noah, Coach Gino, and myself, we get together every Tuesday to kind of talk through the markets and give you guys a take on what's happening out there. All right, guys, get in the game.
Get off the sidelines and take control of your financial future at www.tackletrading.com. Get in the game.